for you know that the testing of your faith produces endurance. James has just asked us to count it all joy, not because trials feel good, but because something good is happening in them. Now in verse 3, he starts to unpack what that is. The testing of your faith produces endurance. Let's slow that down. The Greek word here for testing, it signifies refining. It's the same word used in 1 Peter 1:7 and echoed in the Old Testament Psalm 11:7 and Proverbs 27:21. It's a refining word. The image is fire, heat, pressure, purifying. Now don't misunderstand this. James isn't saying that God is the one lighting the fire just to see what happens. In fact, just a few verses later, he'll clarify that God doesn't tempt or torment. Sometimes the fire we face comes from the world. Sometimes it comes from our own choices. But here's what's powerful. God still uses it. The fire doesn't go to waste. The difficulty isn't for nothing. This isn't about whether you have faith. It's about what happens in your faith when it's under pressure. Think about the gym. You don't build muscle by sitting still. You build it by staying under tension, under weight. Endurance is not formed by escaping discomfort, but by learning to remain under it. That's what the word endurance means here, to remain under. And let's be real, life puts weight on us. It's not a controlled environment. It's not a training session we picked, but the principle holds. If you stay present, if you keep showing up, if you keep surrendering under the load, God builds something strong. And over time, the weight that once felt like it would crush you, it starts feeling lighter. Think about it. At one point in your life, standing up as a baby was hard. You wobbled, you struggled, everything felt heavy because something was still developing in you. But now, most of us don't even think about standing or walking. It's routine, unfelt. That's growth. That's endurance. And that's why James says this isn't a dead end. It's a development process. So what if your current pressure isn't a sign something's wrong? What if it's not about failure or punishment? What if it's simply an invitation? An invitation to greater surrender, greater trust, a deeper connection with God, and a richer transformation of every part of your life? What if the tension you feel right now is the place your faith is being refined? What if it's exposing what's real, what's growing, what still needs formation? And James is going to get specific. These tests aren't always dramatic, external crisis. Sometimes they show up in the way you treat people who can't benefit you. Sometimes it's the way you speak when you're angry, or how quickly you speak at all. Sometimes it's the inner temptation to blame God or assume he's holding out on you. It's how you handle wealth, how you handle lack, how you respond when things are unfair. James is going to press on all of that, and not to shame, but to refine, to show us what formed faith actually looks like in real life. So don't dismiss the weight you're under just because it doesn't look like someone else's trial. The tension is real. The testing is real. And if you stay under it, it will form something real in you. And listen, this isn't about personal grit. James isn't trying to turn us into spiritually self-sufficient people. He's forming a people who look like Christ, who endure with him and through him. This refining moment becomes a place of alignment. Will I trust God here? Will I stay surrendered? Will I remain under this weight, not as a victim, but as someone being formed? Because that's what trials do. They bring things to the surface. They don't just test whether you believe in God. They test whether you're letting him form you into someone who reflects his heart. That's the endurance James is talking about. But here's the thing. It's not just building endurance for its own sake. It's not just having stronger faith or gritting it out for a little bit longer. There's a purpose on the other side of endurance. And James is going to tell us exactly what it is. In the very next verse, don't miss verse 4.